and work. My kids go to school.
But the program lasts for a year. With housing support running out at the end of December, Kadri's finding it difficult to find a place to live, even with a job. Brenda Barrett with Afghan Allies explains.
You have the inability to demonstrate that you have credit, the inability to, provide referees for previous renting experiences.
More than material goods, Barrett says these refugee families need opportunity.
Maybe give somebody a chance whose English might not be flawless, but whose work ethic is not in question.
As for Kadri, despite all he's been through, he's staying optimistic.
I hope, yeah. Sometimes we should be living with hope, not with stress.
In Petaluma, Mike DeWald, KCBS.
Let us get an update on the Money Watch now. We've got Jason Brooks standing by at our Money Watch desk.
And Melissa, the market rallying higher for the second straight session after that big rally on Friday. Dow's up 394 points, NASDAQ gaining 62, S&P up by 40. The market hoping that the Fed may pause aggressive rate hikes following one more big...
Watch out! Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
The Journal reported on Friday that several Fed members are growing concerned about the potential impact of higher rates on the economy, and they may wish to signal after the November meeting that there will be a pause in 2023. The market is expecting a fourth straight 75 basis point rate hike from the Fed in early November. Chinese tech stocks are not enjoying any of this rally. They were pummeled in Asian markets, and now they're getting hit hard in U.S. markets as well. That includes Alibaba, Baidu, JD.com. This after Xi Jinping was given a third unprecedented term as the leader of the Chinese Communist Party, and that's weighing on analysts' view of the tech sector in China after Beijing have been cracking down on a number of tech firms, and any challenges to his policy moves may go unabated, and that is worrying investors about potential tech companies in China. Tesla having a rough go too. Its stock is down by almost 4%. On the Money Watch, Jason Brooks, KCBS.
Thank you, Jason. At 9:28, let's head back over to your local Honda dealer's traffic center. It's been a bit of a rough morning on the roads. We get an update now from Kim Wunderly.
There's been some sore spots, but it's starting to settle down. In fact, traffic's moving a lot better out of Dublin for Castro Valley. It's not perfect. It's still a little sluggish or under the speed limit, but the crash west 580 before Eden Canyon has been cleared. Just getting word of another problem, though. We're up on Vacaville now. It came in on the eastbound side, but it's the westbound side where I see the slowing. So let's put it westbound Interstate 80 at Peña Adobe. Looks like a vehicle in the middle lane. They're trying to push this off to the shoulder, but the Chilton Autobody collision cam sees some stop-and-go traffic behind it from Alamo Drive, again, as you head through Vacaville. Also coming off the Mare Island Bridge, they're trying to clear a crash on westbound Highway 37 just after the bridge. It's the left lane that's been blocked, so there's sluggish traffic coming out from, let's call it Wilson Avenue out of Vallejo. And taking another look at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza, almost no wait here. This looks good until you get to the tunnel. Then it's sluggish speeds as you make your way onto the Skyway, the westbound 80 Skyway reaching 101. Your next update, 9:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Mostly sunny skies expected throughout the afternoon today. Highs getting into the 60s and the 70s. We've got traffic and weather together on the 8th on KCBS. And we should note, we had hoped to bring you Ask an Expert today. We are having trouble getting in touch with our expert. We do apologize for that, and we will try to bring you that segment as soon as we can.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 38,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
News that matters to you, around the Bay, around the world, around the clock. All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
It is Monday, October 24th, 2022. Coming up on KCBS, Rishi Sunak is set to become the UK's next Prime Minister. Locally, there is a recall underway for goat's milk produced out of Modesto. Good morning, I'm Melissa Colross, KCBS News Time, 9:31.
CBS News special report, a deadly school shooting in St. Louis. The police chief says one adult and one girl were killed. The suspected shooter died. Affiliate KMOX reports one person suffered cardiac arrest, at least 3 others hospitalized. Reporter Kevin Killeen says hundreds of high school students ran out of the building.
Students are crying and sobbing. Their faces are red with tears, and they're breathing kind of a shock. One student told me that she saw a female who was on the floor bleeding by the gymnasium bathroom, and she was just terribly shaken.
Killeen says another student told him he was in a health class when a window was shot out and a teacher and student were shot. This happened at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School, which is a magnet school specializing in visual art, music, and performing arts in St. Louis. It has about 400 students. Again, the police chief says 2 people died. The shooting suspect is also dead. CBS News Special Report, I'm Steve Kathan.
KCBS News Time, 9:32. Of course, stay with KCBS. We'll bring you more on this story as we get more information. Well, former Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak is set to become Britain's next Prime Minister. He will provide.
Who do?
Yeah, we have. I mean, right now we're just above 400 million barrels. By the end of the year, just accounting for everything that's been announced, we will be below 380 million barrels. Now, the IEA at least mandates that countries. You still need, or you should need to hold about 220 million barrels. So, there's about, you could argue, 150 million of buffer for the president to go. But the trick or the issue over here is, if you remember back in 2017, there was a bunch of legislative releases that were agreed for the next 10 years. So between 2017 and 2027, every year, like the Bipartisan Act of 2018, for instance, there's a bunch of those acts that just releases crude from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to pay for infrastructure and different other things. If you account for that, there's another 100 million barrels coming out just in the next 3 years. So that's very complicated, but effectively I'm saying that probably gives the president only about 60 million barrels to play with if he did want to do another emergency release.
Well, to play with, I thought that the Strategic Petroleum Reserve was actually for possible disruption in the supply of oil. That is, we're getting cut off, particularly in times of conflict or something. What you're talking about, funding infrastructure, or for that matter, just controlling the price, I never understood that was the purpose of the SPR.
You're right, that wasn't the purpose of the SPR, but I'm using the word wasn't on purpose. I think it's been made very, very clear by the current administration that they are going to be managing the market, they're going to be managing prices, and they will be using the SPR to do so. So gone are the days when we use the SPR for an actual supply disruption. To be fair, they are preempting something and saying that with the the EU embargo on Russian oil coming in, potentially we could have a very big supply disruption, but regardless, they're saying we are going to be managing prices, which is why he's also then saying I'm going to buy some Strategic Petroleum Reserve back or crude for it back at $70. But yeah, this is absolutely managing prices rather than supply disruption.
That sounds very robust. Does the United States have the power to do that? I mean, obviously the price of oil is under 100 now, but how much of that is because of releases from the SPR versus global economics and the slowdown in China and elsewhere?
A big part of it is the global recession and the slowdown in China, but I will say, if you think about it, since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, we have actually had more oil come to the market than has been taken out, thanks to the SPR. The 180 million barrels that's coming out this year has actually made oil market relatively well supplied on the commercial side, because we've simply moved oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves to commercial tanks. The disruption to Russian oil hasn't hit yet. It will be hitting from December onwards, and that's when, arguably, if there isn't that much SPR to release, then it won't really help in keeping prices down.
And finally, Amrita, this is all about oil. Let's turn over to natural gas, and particularly when it comes to Europe. What about that gas cap?
Again, very similar this side of the pond. You are seeing the European Commission very similarly push for potentially capping the natural gas prices here. Now, it's